Shalom, Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that puts this great gospel in sincerity and truth. This your brother Tazakai Yahweh from the Great Millstone in Indianapolis camp, coming at you another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Shai, and Lord willing, it be edifying. Got an article here from CNN.com, and it reads 33 dead and dozens injured in Afghanistan monster blast. And this came out April 22nd, Friday, April 22nd, 2022, the year Yahweh Shemashai turned it up. And it reads 33 people are thought to have died in the blast at a mosque in Afghanistan's Kunduz province, according to the Taliban. Among the dead are children, according to the Taliban spokesman Zabiullah Mujahid. It's lucky if I didn't say that right. While a further 43 people were injured in the explosion. Mujahid said the blast took place during Friday prayers at the mosque, or I think that it could be prayers, at the mosque in the Iman Sabih district of Kunduz province. It comes a day after explosions also struck Kunduz in another city, Mazar-i-Sharif, in northern Afghanistan. Separate explosions hit learning facilities in western Kabul on Tuesday, killing students. So I think right here say, right there at least 6 dead as multiple explosions hit Kabul schools. So, say, a lot of judgment going towards children, It says, private Afghan channel TOLO News said that the blast targeted the Maulawi Sekadar Mosque. CNN is not able to verify the number of dead, but a witness speaking to CNN on conditions of anonymity said that bodies were seen after the explosion. The source required anonymity due to the political sensitive nature of the attacks and fear of reprisal from the government. A series of deadly blasts, mainly targeting the Hazara Shia community, have rocked several Afghan cities over the past week. Most of this week's attacks were claimed by ISIS affiliate group and Taliban rival ISIS Khorasan ISIS-K. Nobody has yet claimed responsibility for Friday's explosion. And I believe that's all on that. So, as we see, more judgment is going out. In this situation, said 33 dead and then up to 43 injured. And we all know that came from Yahweh Shemel Shai. But the main thing to point out is, like I said, among the dead are children, and children have been these recent targets. Just like it said on Tuesday, I think it's last Tuesday, prior to this coming out last Friday, that they said that at least 6 children were killed and 2 Kabul schools were hit. So we understand that judgment it's just not reserved for adults and stuff like that, or elderly or anything like that. It's also reserved for children, and something I had seen earlier as well, real quick. I want to read this. This actually happened a little closer to home, here in Indiana where I'm at. But this is it says 4 children die at Fort Wayne mobile home fire, this is like pretty much north of where I am, probably about 2 hours away. I'm here in Indianapolis, and this came out to publish. It says April 22nd, 2022. Yahweh Shemashai turned it up, so pretty much a day before the previous article, and it reads: Fort Wayne, Indiana. 4 children were killed in a mobile home fire in Fort Wayne Thursday morning. Firefighters were called to DuPont Estates around 8:30 a.m., according to Fort Wayne's NBC. Firefighters said the mobile home was engulfed in flames when they arrived. 4 adults were able to get out of the home, but 4 young children were found dead. I've been crying all day, said Shelby Wright, who lives in the neighborhood. I heard the dog, I heard the kids screaming, and then after a second, I couldn't see nothing. The flames got bigger. Rice said she used a broom handle to break a back window, trying to get inside, but there was just too much smoke. All I heard was, "Help, Mom," and just the baby's crying and the dog was crying. That's all I heard, Rice said. Sound like a very sad situation, to pretty much, escape it and endure, having to listen to your children in there suffering and burning up. And it may sound like a sad thing, but at the end of the day, this is judgment from Yahweh Shemel Shai. It's the reason why these things happen, right? And we go get the scriptures to prove these things. It says, I tried to bust through the front door, she said next door neighbor, Hunter Desjardins. Of the efforts he made to save the kids, I pulled the air conditioning unit out. The flames were just so engulfed that you ain't getting in. So at this point, it's, yeah, because what happens is, when a place is on fire, if you open the door or window and you allow more oxygen in, that's just gonna, make a greater explosion. That's gonna pretty much feed the flames of the fire. So really, if you ain't getting out in that set amount of time when the things pop off, then they no getting in and they no getting out. Because even if you do, you just gonna engulf and ignite the fire even more, and it's gonna be more devastating, and destructive to you. So hey, so like I said, you definitely ain't getting in. They say fire, and also, handles be hot, stuff like that. You can't even touch it. It says fire crews got on scene within 5 minutes of the first 911 call, but said it took 20 minutes to get the fire under control so they could get inside. When they did, they found the 4 children, reportedly all under 10 years old. And I believe in another article I had seen, I think they were 10, 7, 5, and 2. I believe those were I know 10, 5, and 2. I know those for sure. I'm not sure the other one, but they, like I said, it was all 10 under. It said, witnesses said the mother of the children and three other adults managed to escape and were taken to area hospitals. I ran through the house screaming fire, said Travis Garrison, one of the adults who managed to get out. Garrison said he lived in the home with his sister and her boyfriend, plus the mother of the children. She ran over to me and asked if her kids were okay, and I told her that they were still in there. And I was running to the front door to try and break it open, and it wouldn't open. I kept hearing the kids screaming and screaming, and we couldn't do anything about it. So that's just, just imagine that, And also, have some, have a family member in the same situation happen, to her children, and just, hey, like I said, it's definitely a sad situation, but at the end of the day, man, that's judgment from Yahweh Shemashai. Like, I could just, just imagine, just got your kids in there, and then one thing about it is, that's how people be for themselves too. Like, here it is, you screaming fire, fire, fire. It's children there. Why why you ain't grab one? Or grab two, or wake them up, or do whatever the case may be. Because the other article said that the children was in their sleep. That's why they didn't get up and run out or do anything like that. So you screaming this or that, but again, since it's being, set by Yahweh Shemel Shai, it's the reason why he didn't help the children. It's the reason why the children didn't hear the screams and wake up, because the Lord, hey, judgment had to go out. And for whatever these children did, particularly in their past lives, well, they paid for it in this one. They say, I kept hearing that, so like you say, she was just distraught, laying on the ground. Right, said the state fire marshal spent the day investigating the cause of the fire, but hasn't said whether the fire looks suspicious. Wright said it's the second fire at the DuPont estate in less than a week. She said this one will stay with her for a long haul. A mother herself, Wright said she can't stop thinking about her neighbor and her 4 children, who Wright likely heard in their last moments. I don't know if they could even see me, if they could hear me over the flames. I don't know what was going on there. I know they were terrified. Yeah, said Wright. We may learn the name of the victims after their autopsies, which have been scheduled for the coming days. So, that was just something like, a little bonus or whatever that I seen to, put these two together, because, it's just judgment, from Yahweh Shemel Shai, and, judgment has no limiters. It don't matter if you're old, young, black, white, how, just use those terms, but it don't matter how you look, what your age is, what color your hair is, your eye, none of that stuff matter. When it's time for judgment to be rendered out, best believe if it's of you, judgment does have to come down to you. Ain't no way you can get out of it. So we're going to start right here, because, hey, every single day, man, the Lord, like the scripture's going to say, he don't fail. It says, this is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5, the just Lord, right? So he's just, right? Let's get that real quick. Just. Which, just, or righteous, go back to Tazadak. Right here, just, lawful, righteous, right? Just, lawful, righteous, just, right, right, correct. So whatever the Lord sanctioned and what He do, He's right in that. You can't cry, complain, why, Lord, why you do this and that? That's not right. That's not my God. Because ultimately these people, you believe in white Jesus and, white Jesus love everybody and never, let nothing bad happen to people, you know. But then y'all say stuff like that, but then think about, times of slavery or whatever. Well, where was he? Where was he to save us? Anyway, because like I said, we understand that these people are gone, and you just believe madness. But the true living power, the power who delivered us into the hands of our enemies for slavery, for our punishment, we understand that He is just and right in all the things that He do. Right, and if you do something like Chipper say, wages of sin or death, man, you gonna pay. You gonna pay the piper when the time to come, so to speak. Right. So again, it says the just Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Right. The Lord's not like man who sin and iniquity in this this flesh, this carnal flesh. The Lord ain't in no body like that. The Lord's in the spiritual. He got a spiritual body, a right. That's just righteous. Ain't no going off. Say all things are pure. So, like you say, he ain't gonna do iniquity every morning, right? So he can contribute to every day. Do if he bring his judgment to light. He fell if not. But the unjust, no sense. So he's not gonna fail to bring judgment. You may think, Lord, please don't. Saying people would have thought, hey, maybe the Lord could have passed judgment on today. No, or he could have fell asleep, or he could have woke up and helped them. Whatever the people may think. No, the Lord's not gonna fail. He gonna always bring his judgment to light, right? And the unjust don't know no shame. That's why the unjust keep doing what they doing. You tell them what's right for wrong, they whatever. You can't tell what to do. Then they say some crazy shit. Oh, only God can judge me. On some Tupac madness. And guess what? Then when the Lord judge them, then what? Oh, that wasn't right. He was young. He was this. He was that. Like I said, our people be gone. But like I said, man, the Lord not gonna fail to render out His judgment. And like I said, real quick. Let me get right here. Get this real quick. Slakia, This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. And it reads, see now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive, right? So it's the Lord who, put them people to death. Put them children to death, and the people who, was injured, that was hurt, right? Because they say, what? I make alive, and I wound and I heal. So it's the Lord who wounded them or injured them or did those things. And if they are to come back up to health or to be healed, the Lord did that too. Everything's sanctioned. It's a balance. He'll kill you, and He'll bring forth life. He'll hurt you, and He'll heal you. It's a perfect balance, right? And here's the point. As I said, it don't matter. I wish this didn't happen, or I wish this, some this and that, and why today, Lord? Why this? Why can it be? No, they say what? Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hands. So when the time is appointed for judgment to be rendered out and carried out, ain't nothing you can do to stop it. You can't pray, go to sleep, Lord. No, you can't do no stuff like that. I said burn incense and shoot Roman candles. Ain't nothing you can do. Seances, nothing you can do when it comes to judgment. It's gonna come get you. You know what I'm saying? So, right here say, if I wet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, right? So, it's the Lord who's doing these things, right? No matter if He used man to do it or whatever the case may be, it's His judgment. He say, well, I will render vengeance to my enemies and reward them that hate me, right? And we understand that who the enemies of the Lord, those who don't believe in Him, those who don't follow His law, statutes, commandments, start with our people. And then the rest of the nations are enemies, by default anyway, because they're not the Lord's people, right? They don't uphold the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh, especially Esau, Edom. They don't care about the Lord. Scripture say that the Lord's not all them thoughts. So what He gonna do to those who are His enemies? He gonna render vengeance and will reward them that hate me. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, how do you show that you hate the Lord? Because the Scripture says if you love Him, keep His commandments. But you show that you hate Him by what? Forsaking His commandments, which is ultimately forsaking them as a whole. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Therefore, like I said, He gonna render vengeance upon you, and you are going to be considered His enemy. Right? Now, got a couple more. It won't be too long, I know it's early. Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent. Now let's say whoever. There's no limiter, no specification or qualifications of age or nothing like that. Age, race, whatever, height, width, weight, whatever. No, it say whoever perished being innocent. Or where were the righteous cut off? So who? You tell me. Who in this whole earth, entire earth, who's been born here, reincarnated, regenerated, who has never sinned? Right? Like I said, so you tell us we be waiting here, we be the kingdom still waiting, right? Everybody has sinned. Now we understand that Yahushua came in, when he came as himself, he didn't at all, but in his past life, he did. That's why the things that happened to him, he had to pay for that, as far as, being put on the cross, or, from his transgressions, from, saying, we could just go all the way back to the times of Solomon, what he did when he got older of age, building those idols up for his wives. That was something that he had to, that wasn't something that, was going to be let off. No, he had to pay for those things. You know what I'm saying? So as the scriptures say, remember I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off. Now, not saying that just to say, well, look, y'all's Lord and Savior. No, he came. It was a reason for him to do these things, which led up to us being brought back to Yahweh via his sacrifice. So yeah, he understand. That's why he said, "Why callest thou me good?" Because he understood that he did things in the past that would not be considered, good things. He transgressed. But again, like I said, as he came as himself, yeah, he didn't sin at all. That's why he was considered what? A perfect sacrifice, a lamb without blemish. And guess what? Now he's on the right hand of Yahweh Shemel Shai. He received his glory and his reward. So like I said, I'm saying that to throw any shade, but saying just being honest, as the scripture said, like where will the righteous cut off? Because like I said, you people will be like, well, these was kids. What did they ever did? What have they ever done? And like I said, that's their past lives. That's what they did. Or, I mean, even still with that, or shoot, the parent could have been doing something. You could be doing something as a parent, then your child can be taken from you. It can happen. Just like Scripture said, people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And then what? So, what they say? Oh, I want to. Because they say he'll also forget thy children. So that means what? Well, if he gonna forget your children, he ain't gonna extend his hand out and save them from whatever. They gonna receive death too, like you will. Hosea 4:6 to make the point real quick. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. So you gonna be destroyed. You say you're gonna forget your children. What's gonna happen to your children? They shall be destroyed too, if that's of the Lord's will. Verse 8. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. Right? So you do dirt, you receive dirt. By the blast of the Most High, they perish. So the death that was written into anybody came from the blast of Yahweh Shemel Shai, came from him, his sanction. And by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. Right? So it don't matter if they kids or not, elderly, whatever, adolescents, toddler, baby, infant, it don't matter. Even babies die in the womb. You know what I'm saying? That all come from Yahweh Shemel Shai. And I'm where we going? Slacky. So yeah, I'm gonna end it off. Let's see. It's awesome. On the tip of my tongue. Yeah, I'm gonna end it off right here. Just to show you, just to further prove that it don't matter if it's children or not, that anybody can get it in the eyes of Yahweh Shemel Shai. It says, I'm gonna start at 4 points in 6. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And that's the men of the Lord that you see, go down the highways and byways, he says, preaching the downfall of his kingdom, preaching against the wickedness, the atrocities that go on, the perverseness, the contrariness, if that's a word, but, just preaching against those that are averse against Yahweh Shemel Shai. It's the things that we see, y'all, we could name some things, but, it's the things that we see that's unruly, that you can't stomach to look at. They okay with those things, and we speak out against those, or just the untreatment of our people, just all the manners of stuff, right? And I'm gonna say this too, you know, and like starting with those also, so you gotta say this: who's teaching you the 100%, the 100% doctrine, the truth. Yeah, it's credit given to the camps. They out there teaching Israel, whatever. But hey, hopefully they get in line and start preaching 100% truth. Not saying that all of them are going off, but the ones who are, hey, yeah, you can teach Israel, which is good and commendable. But hey, you need to teach them the 100% truth, so that they be ready in the day of battle, so to speak. That what I'm saying, in the time to come, so they know what they have to do. Because we know the jump shot, so after the jump shot, gonna come that hour of temptation. And if they're not getting they're not getting the truth, well, they're gonna be a part of this. And it goes on to say, and to the others, he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Right? So Salaki, so they say that set that mark upon the forehead. So the ones who don't have that mark, which is the Thawa, the ones who don't have that mark of exemption of judgment, this is what's going to happen to you. Salaki, verse 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Those teaching false doctrine, go through the city and smite them. Teach them that they can do stuff on the Sabbath. You can pop your woman from the back door, the MOTB is sin, is popping white women, this and that. Go through the city and smite these people. Those telling you to go commit adultery and go get drugged up. Go through the city, go ye after him through the city and smite. That's what's going to happen to those people. It also going to happen to the people who continue to follow them. Right? And let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Now, here's the point of why I brought this out. Right? Because, people think, children think, judgment don't come to children. They say, verse 6, slay utterly, old and young. Now, real quick, what did this word utterly? Which, Slacky. It's a Slacky. Ruin, destruction, just keep it plain and simple. Like, bring them to ruin, slay utterly old and young, both maids and what? Little children. And woman. So, but it say, become not any man upon whom was as the mark was at the wall, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house. So, like I said, the point of bringing that scripture out is what? It say what? Slay over the old and young, both maids and children. It don't matter. Anybody can get it in the eyes of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Whether you're a kid or you're elderly, senior citizen, whatever the case may be. But it's time for judgment to be rendered out. And if your name get pulled, so to speak, out of that hat, death and destruction is going to come to you. You're going to perish, no matter what. And like I said, these people, eventually, like I said, so these people got blew up by missiles, and and then these children, they got burnt up by fire. So, we know that's definitely a horrible way to go out. And that's a very destructive way to go out. That's why you have Bashim Shai is going to burn the earth when he send his son back to judge his people with the holy angels. Right? Burn them with what? Nuclear warheads. And they also burn them with the concentrated laser beams from the angels, from the chariots. So, hey. So, yeah, pretty much, yeah, that's all I want to start on that. Slakia, from rambling a little bit. But that's the point, man. Judgment is going forth and going out, and it's going to continue to get, so to speak, worse and worse and worse. Right? It's not going to be any let up. So it's best for you to get your mind right and come back to Yahweh Shemel Shai so that judgment don't fall upon you. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. To sincere Akiva Akwaf out there listening, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, the honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, Ruel, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the switchers, great gospel, and sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abai, Babal.